Hello and welcome to PMCLounge.com. Today we are looking into a topic known as Scrum values. And there are 5 Scrum values which we are going to cover in this video. So do stick around. But if you want to read about this topic, if you would rather read about Scrum values than watching a video, then first link in the description is going to take you to a relevant article on this topic over at our official website, PMCLounge.com. So you can always check that out. Now, you must have already figured this out. But this topic, if you haven't, this topic is part of the agile studies that you need to do for your PMP exam preparation. So this video is going to help you with that. Also, if you are preparing for your PMI-ACP certification, then too this video is going to help you out. By the way, all the videos that we have done covering agile topics that are of course going to help you with your PMP exam preparation, all of them, the entire playlist will be the second link in the description below, so you can always check that out. And there are PMI ACP specific videos that we have done, which will be the third link. The entire playlist will be the third link in the description below. So those are some of the important links that you need to take care of. You can always go and check other videos in these playlists out. Anyways, for now, let's understand Scrum values. A quick reminder, please hit the like button. That seems to be the only way YouTube is going to let you know every time we upload new content. So while in the past we've already talked about stuff like Agile Manifesto values, the principles behind these values, and the overall importance of the Agile mindset, Scrum comes with its own set of 5 values as well. So you will find links to the videos that we have done on these topics. The second link in the description below that contains the playlist. You'll find videos on these topics there as well. But today we are talking specifically about Scrum. And in addition to all these values and principles and the agile mindset, when you follow Scrum, when you are a Scrum master, you need to be aware of these 5 values that Scrum brings along. And these values are as important to Scrum teams as agile values are for an agile environment, right? And these values are openness, respect, courage, focus, and commitment. So these are the 5 values. In the coming slides, we'll go over each one of them. So let's do that and start things off with openness. So what does the Scrum Guide say about openness? The Scrum team and its stakeholders agree to be open about all the work and the challenges with performing the work. So first of all, we are also talking about stakeholders here, not just the Scrum team. And the agreement here is that everyone is going to be open about all the work, not just the work, but also the challenges. So the work and the challenges with performing that work. So that's what the Scrum Guide says about uh, openness. Now, you always know what your team members are working on. If you're a Scrum Master, what this Scrum value is talking about is that you as a Scrum Master, you always know what your team members are working on, and your team members are okay with that. They are comfortable with you having this information. If there is an issue, you can openly discuss with the team. Now, what's the big deal? If there is an issue, you can openly discuss with the team. What does this mean? Now, consider in the Scrum team, you are an engineer. You're responsible for development work. You're responsible for coding. And let's say you have certain problem with writing the code. How easy do you think it is for a developer in the Scrum team to talk about the problem that he or she is facing while writing the code? It is almost certain that nobody wants to be perceived as someone who is not capable of writing the code, right? A developer would never want to be perceived someone as someone who is not capable of writing the code. And at the same time, nobody wants to be perceived as someone who is making mistakes as well. But this value, openness, this is where openness comes into the picture. If every Scrum team member is open about the challenges that they are facing, right? The challenges with performing the work. If everyone is open about those challenges, it becomes a lot easier for other team members as well to come up and speak about the problems that they are facing, speak about the issues, speak about the challenges that they are facing. And that is precisely the point about openness here. So you as a Scrum Master, you might not be the developer, you might be the Scrum Master. As a Scrum Master, you need to ensure that there is an environment of openness within your Scrum team, and people are discussing their problems, people are openly talking about their challenges without being perceived as incapable or without being perceived as someone who is making some kind of mistake. The second point is about respect. This is the second Scrum value. And what does the Scrum guide says about respect? It says Scrum team members respect each other to be capable and independent people. So respect and trust, both of them go hand in hand. And what the Scrum guide basically is talking about here is that you as in the Scrum Master, and your team members, the Scrum team, you have mutual respect for each other. And every team member trusts the teammates to do their jobs. So not just you as the Scrum Master and the development team, and the product owner, you guys have mutual respect for each other, but even the team member, all the team members, they trust each other, they trust their teammates to do their jobs. Now what does this mean? It does not, this should not be taken as something like, hey, there are going to be no disagreements because everyone respects each other, right? That's not the case. When there are disagreements, the team members listen to each other. They try to understand each other's ideas, and that is what trust and respect is all about. Now, even if you, let's say developer A and developer B are discussing some ideas, and developer A wants to follow a different approach than what developer B is suggesting, so that's still okay because there's a mutual respect between developer A and developer B. Developer B trusts developer A that even though he or she is not following the approach being suggested, they will still be able to do their job. And that is what respect is all about. That is what being trusted as capable and independent people is all about. So this is another extremely important value, Scrum value, that you as a Scrum Master need to ensure that team members have. If you like our work, please consider contributing. You can head over to pmclounge.com/contribute and make your contribution. The Scrum Guide says about courage that the Scrum team members have courage to do the right thing and work on tough problems. Now, what does this mean? Scrum team members have courage to do the right thing and they are, they want to work on tough problems as well. See, Scrum teams have the courage to take on the challenges collectively. Together, they can, take on the challenges. But not just that, even the individual people on the Scrum team, they also have the courage to stand up for their project. Now, what does this entire thing mean? What courage are we talking about? Right? And this image suggests that you have to do some kind of hill climbing. No, it's not like that. See, standing up here, when we say that, individual team members have the courage to stand up for their project, when we say standing up, what this basically means is standing up to, it could be something like saying no to impossible deadlines. That's what standing up here means, right? You are not going to, nobody can come in and dictate stuff to the Scrum team. That's the kind of courage that Scrum teams collectively have, and the individual teams, the individual team member of the Scrum team have too. So there are tools that Scrum teams use, and these tools show what's possible. If you have a, let's say, a 14-day sprint, then what's possible in those 14 days? There are tools that show that, and stakeholders trust the Scrum team that they are going to deliver the most valuable product or the most valuable software possible. So nobody needs to dictate anything to the Scrum team. And Scrum team, even if somebody does, Scrum team and Scrum team members have the courage to stand up for their project, have the courage to say no to impossible deadlines, have the courage to do the right thing. Number four is focus. And here's what Scrum Guide says about this Scrum value. Everyone focuses on the work of the sprint and the goals of the Scrum team. Pretty straightforward, right? Everyone focuses on the work that they are doing and they also focus on the goals that the Scrum team has. So all team members, every team member of the Scrum team, they are focused on the sprint goal. And this is precisely the reason why the team is actually coming up with a sprint goal. This is just 2-3 lines that the team comes up with and says that this is this is the sprint goal that they would like to achieve as part of the ongoing sprint. So every team member is focused on that sprint goal, and during the course of the sprint, it can be 14 days, it can be, some people call it 30 days, some people call it 4 weeks. So whatever your sprint time box is, during the course of the sprint, everyone in the team works only on the sprint task and completes one task at a time. This is very important. There is absolutely no multitasking involved when it comes to Scrum teams and when it comes to Scrum team members. This is very, very important because let's take an example. So let's say you are a developer in the Scrum team and you have two modules to code, right? You have module A and module B. Both these modules are going to take 1 week each. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to multitask and you're trying to work on both of them together. Now, of course, you cannot finish module A and module B in 1 week because the effort that is required for each module is 1 week. So what you're going to achieve is by the end of 2 weeks, you're going to complete both module A and module B if you multitask. But what this value suggests is that you should focus and you should work on only one sprint task at a time, which means you should work only on module A, complete it by the end of 1 week, and then start working on module B. This way, by the end of first week, when you're not doing multitasking, by the end of first week you have a completed module A. But if you were multitasking, if you were working on module A and module B together, by the end of 1 week you would have had half of module A done and half of module B done, which is of no use. So that is the reason why focus is extremely important. Every sprint, not sprint, Scrum team member is asked to focus and work only on a single sprint task at a time. When it comes to commitment, the Scrum Guide says people personally commit to achieving the goals of the Scrum team. As simple as that. Everyone is committed to, and this is a personal commitment that they are doing to achieve the goals of the Scrum team. Now, all the team members, everyone is working towards, and they are also committed to delivering the most valuable product that they can. This is also something that their stakeholders agree on, and their stakeholders believe that whatever the Scrum team is working on, they are going to deliver the most valuable product, the most valuable software possible. Rest of the company is also committed. Now, what does this mean? What does this mean to have rest of your company committed to your project? You're working on the project, you're a project team member, you're part of the Scrum team, you can be personally committed to the project. But what does it mean when we say that rest of the company is also committed to your project? What this basically means is that rest of the company is essentially giving the authority to the Scrum team to decide what they want to work on and what they want to deliver, because the rest of the company believes in the fact that the Scrum team is going to deliver. They are committed and they are going to deliver the most valuable software possible. So company can also be, more accurately be understood as uh, the higher management, executive people, stakeholders, even your the end users, if they are part of the company, right? If you're doing an internal project and your end users are part of the company itself, they also are stakeholders for your project, and they believe that you are committed, and they are also committed to give you the authority to do the kind of work you want to do to be able to achieve the Scrum goals. So, question for this video: which of these values do you personally consider most important? We talked about the 5 Scrum values. Personally, you can say that all 5 are extremely important, but what do you think? Which one is the most important? Which one stands out? Let me know in the comments. Definitely looking forward to your answers. And that's all that we had in this video. I hope you were able to understand the 5 Scrum values and the kind of examples that I tried to bring in. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Smash that bell icon to stay notified every time we upload new content. Also, don't forget to check out the website pmclounge.com, your number one free PMP and project management resource.